Hello, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm Ariana. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome. So, what's it like to be on the 50th anniversary tour of this epic show?
Oh my gosh, it's been pretty awesome. It's definitely a dream come true. I have I've loved this musical for a long time, and it's really cool to be on the road sharing something that I'm really passionate about, as well as, everyone in the cast are very passionate about it. So it's pretty awesome to share this story on the road with people who love the story, love the music, and have a real attachment to the show.
Yeah, speaking of having an attachment to the show, obviously it's been around 50 years from now. Was there kind of pressure because a lot of times people this isn't like the first time they've seen the show and they're
Right.
maybe used to a certain portrayal of it or they remember the
Mm.
first time and they're like comparing it like is there any pressure around that?
There is a little bit because you want to do it justice. You people have seen this show for the past 50 years, and audiences will come up to us and tell us, "Oh, I remember seeing it when it first premiered on Broadway," or "I remember growing up with this Brown album in my house," or "I remember growing up with the movie and we watched it all the time." And so, with that, there's so many iconic people who are part of each of those versions of the show, and they, set the groundwork for the work that we're doing today. So there is a little bit of pressure, but it's also kind of a nice challenge because in our production, we really just get to show who we are as singers, who we are as people. So thankfully, like I get to just enjoy, like, okay, this is who I am, and hopefully they'll enjoy that. And it's not really about, what their other preconceived notions of the show are, or of, what they might think of Mary Magdalene or these songs. Like, this is just me, and this is just me singing, and hopefully they like it.
Yeah. Speaking of the songs and singing, so the entire show is literally music. There is no dialogue and
Yeah.
there's no intermission. It is everything is a song. What
Mhm.
is it like to be an actress and obviously a singer where your voice has to be on like there's not a break for an hour and a half.
Right, yeah. It definitely requires a lot of focus, like I think each of us have our own things that we do to stay focused in the show. Sometimes, I mean, obviously we do have fun backstage. I think because it is an intense show, we do have to have a little bit of fun. But I think each of us have our own kind of set of rituals that we do, like before we go on or in between numbers, so that we can just stay as focused as possible. Because, yeah, it is a pretty intense 90 minutes. Like as soon as we start, we just keep going and going and going. But also something about that is very satisfying as well because like there's not much time to think or overthink what you're doing. You can just go with the flow and be in the moment.
Yeah, so what are kind of your rituals to get into character and also kind of the come down after the show of being on such a high in energy for 90 minutes?
Yeah, so really important to do a physical warm up. Thankfully, I don't do a whole bunch of crazy dancing in the show. Our show is very dance intensive, and it's an amazing choreography by Drew McConey. Um, but I don't have to do too much of that, but I still warm up my body physically before I start warming up my voice. And I have my favorite warm ups that I do. And then once I finish doing my warm ups, I just like get to get ready and and take my own space, whether it's that's if putting my headphones in, or thankfully like this week I have my own dressing room. I can be in my own dressing room and just kind of either sit in silence. Sometimes I'll play music depending on how I'm feeling. Like if I need some energy, I might play some like pump up music, or if I just need to like calm down, if I've had a hectic day, I might play some calming music, or I might just like sit in silence and then just spend, to me, like putting that makeup on and doing my hair before the show, like is that moment of like, okay, I'm about to get into the zone and do my job. And then yeah, with that comes like some breathing that I like to do before going on. And then all together our each of our company in our company, about we're kind of like split up in two different groups without telling too much about how we start the show. And
Mhm.
so with the group that I'm in, before the show starts, we do breathing together, and that helps me connect with my company. And then before I have like my solo moments, like before going on for What's the Buzz, so singing a little bit there, and then that goes into Everything's All Right. I usually just like take a minute to for the beginning of the show, I like to like dance a little bit, like maybe dance with like our our person who plays keys too, who's not seen by the audience. So sometimes we like to do a little dance party together across like both wings, and then do a little dancing, do some breathing. But usually before my like big number, I don't know how to love him. I just like to kind of keep to myself and just do a lot more like deep breaths, stretching my arms out, and just kind of feeling, being present in my body in the moment and feeling good with that is all very important. So yeah, that's all kind of part of my ritual, I guess.
Yeah, kind of connecting the physical with the mental, of course.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
So, speaking of the music, what's kind of your favorite song from the show?
Oh my gosh, there's so many, and it kind of changes. Before I've said like, it's funny because the ones that come to mind are the ones that I'm not really in that much,
I feel like
but like
everyone
I
always
love
says
this
that.
Jesus must. I know, because you're just like, I wish I could do that. So that's why it becomes your favorite. But I love this Jesus Must Die. I just think that bass line is crazy and like the choreography is so fun. So even like right before I'm going on for Hosanna with everybody, I'm still like doing the choreography like backstage to that song as if one day I'll be a priest in the show maybe. And then I also love the Last Supper. It's like it's such a fun number because there's so much going on, and we are also trying to be celebratory about all of our accomplishments, the apostles, because Mary is one of the apostles in that number in our production, and it's just so triumphant, and the choreography is just so full and flowing, and just makes me feel like this like the beauty of that moment in the show, and then also the beauty of like the accomplishment of getting to go on a Broadway tour for the first time. Like I really feel that sometimes when the drums come in, I'm just like, yeah, look at all my trials and tribulations. Like it feels so satisfying and full. And then of course, Jesus and Judas are screaming at each other, and that's always fun drama too. And it's fun to see how the audience reacts to everything that's going on in that scene. So those are two of my favorites.
Yes. So, this, as you were saying, is your debut for a national tour.
Mhm.
Is it everything you hope? Like, what's something surprising that you pulled on tour that, like, you didn't know when you were dreaming about it?
Oh my gosh, something surprising is is how important it is to do grocery shopping. I was like, oh, I'm sure I'll just be able to like, find somewhere to eat by the theater, and it's been so cool to see the vastness of America and the diversity of America. And some of these theaters are in, kind of random places where yeah, there's not going to be a lot of food to eat by the theater, or sometimes you might be kind of far away from the theater and we bus to the theater. So I'm very shocked that I like look forward to grocery shopping and that I look forward to cooking in a hotel room. I have an air fryer that I carry with me now, and I borrow my roommate's like hot pot. Like I would not have imagined that. Like nobody told me like, oh yeah, you're gonna be cooking in a hotel room. Like, and you're also going to look forward to it because sometimes, yeah, you just want a home cooked meal, and what a home cooked meal is for you right now is literally hotel cooking. So, not the most glamorous thing, but that's something that's really surprised me. Yeah, it's kind of silly, but
I have genuinely never heard this before. Like, I
no,
do a lot of these interviews. I have never heard of this very like makeshift rock star lifestyle of cooking and like
I
bringing an air fryer.
I know the air fryer to me was a surprise too because my friend who's in the show L'Oreal, like she mentioned she had an air fryer, and I was like, whoa, an air fryer? And you can get these like it's still kind of big. It looks like a little R2D2 to me, like, but it's like it's a one core air fryer, and I just cooked some sweet potatoes in it yesterday, and I've cooked salmon in it before. Like I like it's. And then my friend Kodiak who plays Annis, he has like a whole like little like almost like a little electric stove that he plugs in. He's got two burners and he is cooking all the time. That's who's really inspired me to cook because he was like whipping out meals like early on in the tour, and I was like, whoa! I thought we were just going to be spending our per diem on eating out, but you can save a lot of money and when you're cooking for yourself, and it's also kind of fun. So yeah, a
Like,
little known
crazy.
fact.
That is the little known fact because I always ask people like, "What is their tour essential?" And everyone says a humidifier. I have never heard of these cold.
Yeah. I know that humidifier I have to get because now they make pretty nice ones that are like tiny. You can like put it by the bed. That's what LV has, who he plays Judas. So yeah, the humidifier, that's something I need to get. But right now I'm like, right now I'm thinking about, can I get another, do I have space to get a hot pot as well as having my air fryer? Like that's what I'm thinking. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's so crazy. That's
Yeah.
hilarious though, but also kind of makes me appreciate like having an actual kitchen.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes.
Is there something that since you're touring and you're like kind of seeing America, is there something that you kind of like to do in every city?
Oh yeah, I love to we love going to museums. Like just since we're in Detroit, yesterday I went to the Motown Museum and the Detroit Institute of Art, so that was pretty awesome. Um I also just love to go back to talking about food. I love like, treating myself to like a really nice meal in whatever town that we're in, and I try to find a meal that like feels like representative of where we're at.
Mhm.
So I love to do that. Like, and I don't mind splurging on a meal. Like, I guess with the money I'm saving on cooking, um, I don't mind like splurging on like a nice meal that just like feels nourishing and yeah. And I love to like anything that like to see the sights. Like we have people who love to go hiking. I'm not much of a hiker, but every once in a while I'll join them on like one of the like little, cute hikes where you can see something pretty. And that I like to do. Um, but yeah, I would say that like definitely food, museums, and like a little bit of sightseeing seeing is something that I like to do in every city.
For sure. Well, now that you're in Detroit, you have to try a coney dog, which isn't expensive, but it's very
Okay.
essential to try.
All
So,
right, good to
yeah,
know. A
just
coney
commit
dog.
and do it. Well, also, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. You guys are here until Sunday. So, after that,
Yeah.
safe travels to the next city. And I hope to talk to you soon about future projects. I'm sure there's so much more to come.
Oh, thank you very much. Great chatting with you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.